So then you went to Australia. Again, you had a good job in hand. But again, no?
No.
Okay.
In Australia, the rule is that you get PR first. It's called permanent residency.
You went there, then you found a job, and then you decided to pursue your PhD. Was it the flow, or how is it?
No, actually, I found the job, and then I was the second employee or the third employee of the company.
So then you went to Australia. Again, you had a good job in hand. But again, no?
No.
Okay.
In Australia, the rule is that you get PR first. It's called permanent residency.
Right.
Once you get that permanent residency, then you go there and then you find a job.
Okay.
It's not like a US, I mean, US, because that's how most of the crowd goes overseas. And they have the job in hand and then they travel.
Right.
In Australia, New Zealand, England is a Commonwealth, some sort of a countries, most of them have the same rules, saying that you get your immigration first.
Okay.
That's called PR, which you get it on the credentials you have, like what degree you have, how much experience you have, and what the country's requirement is. And accordingly, you get a PR, and then you fly there, and then you find a job.
Oh, okay.
So, and government supports you a little bit, but initially you have to shell money from your pocket. So.
Understood. So it must have been difficult because we are talking about 90s, and
Yes.
that time it was not very common.
Yeah, it was difficult at that time, and just follow the few other Marathi friends who's there, in Sydney, find out something. And then once you land there, then obviously there was a lot of, generally when people go overseas, the local people, not only the Australians, even for our Indian community also help. I mean, they do help. And particularly from the Australian side of it, I'm proud to say that a lot of hardcore Australians have helped me a lot. Just because you have to be, integrated in the society. That's the main principle. Then you will find the easy run.
I think that is applicable everywhere.
Oh yeah, of course. If you are in Pune, you have to be in Punekar. Or you don't need to put a helmet. So you become a Punekar.
Then you become a Punekar.
Yeah, so say same thing. You have to be part of this society. Like in Australia, you had a game called Rugby League.
Okay.
So I started watching that game, and then slowly understood the game. Then the next day, when you go to the office or you go somewhere, even in the shopping, when you talk to the other Australians, and then say, hey, yesterday game was tough game, on this St. George team or whatever. And the guy was so happy, It seemed like a cricket here in India.
Correct.
So that's how, and that helps you a lot to settle, to connect the people and to settle it down. It's much easy. Much easy.
Right. You went there, then you found a job, and then you decided to pursue your PhD. Was it the flow, or how is it?
No, actually, I found the job, and then I was the second employee or the third employee of the company.
Oh.
The company was established a couple of days before, almost. And
So it was a startup that time.
Yeah, it was a startup, but that startup was being an American company. They don't need money, so it was a big
startup.
A big startup. Like only the startup in terms of the technical terms. So that's how I went there for an interview, and they asked me the question, saying that, hey, first thing is, I asked the company what company it does.
Right.
Because you should know what company is doing it. Because the company was established yesterday. So they said, we are thinking to help steel industry.
Okay.
And I said, fine. So the guy asked me, who was the general manager at that time, who asked me the question, saying that, hey, do you know slag? The word he used, SLAG, slag. And I said, no, but I'm happy to learn about it. That was my statement. And then he said, okay, you had the job. Straight away. So I was, shocked. There is something is wrong. So I thought that it's just fishy going on. So I asked what the company does.
Right.
They said, we are going to provide a service to steel industry by get rid of this slag. I said, what is slag? So I asked the same question. The guy said, you are engineer. It is your job to tell us what this slag is. And that is how I got the job there. And that's how the day started. And I do remember it was the 24th of Jan 1992. Okay. Because it was my son's birthday.
Right.
So the general manager asked me, okay, go and tell family that you had the job. I said, I'm sure, I'm going to celebrate it anyway.
Absolutely.
Because it's my son's birthday. Right. So he said, on the way back, get a nice champagne and enjoy. But I want you to start tomorrow.
Great.
So that's how the career started in Australia.
Interesting interview.
Oh, yeah, very interesting interview. I wanted to share that. I wanted to convey that to the rest of the youngsters, that you don't have to say yes, sir. You can ask the questions, and sometimes the guy who's sitting on the other side of the table appreciates saying that the guy, how he's asking the question, they might say, no, we are a $4 million company, okay, yeah, that's fine, but what you guys do, you can also check check in the sense whether I'm going to fit in there or no. Both sides, So it's not only the one side, the guy is asking only the question, and till you say no, then he will hire you. That's not the case,
Right.
You ask the question, saying, hey, how come, and then later on, after 20 years in the career, I was on the other side of the river, and I used to take the interviews. So at that time, I also realized that, hey, the few kids ask very smart questions. And that's where you employ them.
Right.
So you don't just employ by watching their CV,
Absolutely. There is one more lesson, I think. You just didn't stop saying that, no, I don't know. The sentence that followed was, but I would, learn, and I would, take efforts to study that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So that, shows the approach, and that is more important than your theoretical knowledge.
And actually, I answer your half the question, you said that, how come because that's what my job was in the sum. And when I started the job, I realized it is some sort of a research job rather than, day-to-day production job or sales job.
Okay.
So after doing some 6 months research in the slag, I said, if that's the case, why? I already had a master's degree. So I said, why not do my PhD here, So I went to the local university. The university is very nice, called the University of Wollongong. Very nice, one of the top ranked university in Australia. And it was very close to where I used to work.
Okay.
So I approached them saying that, can I do PhD? And they said, okay, submit your synopsis. Now, I don't know, where the research is heading, But so I put it in the A4 sites and I submitted to them. And they said, hi, sorry, bad luck. I said, what do you mean bad luck? They said, oh, we do not have the guide in this topic. I said, that is what the PhD is about. To find something new. I don't expect the guide should be in the same field. As long as my philosophical approach of the research is the same. And then yes, no. And eventually, very interesting. And I wanted to share that in this year, because your Talent Vibes is in a good name. So I wanted to share this sort of experience particularly because it was an R&D job, but it was a full-time job outside the university. Now, university rule says that you have to do the research in the four walls of university.
Okay.
So first thing is, I called a meeting with the Vice Chancellor Administration, myself, and I said, could we do it, outside?
Okay.
Then there was this is out of box thinking.
Correct.
So even Vice Chancellor Administration, he called, saying, you get your boss here, get your general manager. I used to report general manager. So I said, okay. So Peter Handley, I remember his name, and myself and Peter, we went for the meeting with VC. And because I invited the meeting, because I wanted to do PhD, first thing is full-time PhD, so that I can submit my thesis after 3 years.
Okay.
That was my intention.
Right.
So I asked him, can I do my full-time PhD registration here? And the university said, hey, you have to work here within the 4 walls. I said, my general manager, who is guaranteeing
Correct.
that this guy is going to do the research outside the university.
Right.
And he's here, you can ask him.
Correct.
And my general manager supported that very well. And not only he said that, it is my job whether he does his research or no. Because I'm paying him.
Correct.
Then the university said, okay, that's fine. And then, of course, every time you don't see the money. So I have asked the university saying that I do not want your scholarship because university pays some scholarship. I said, my company is paying me,
salary.
So I do not want double dipping.
Right.
You have to be transparent with the people. You just cannot be. So that is also another brownie point tick mark.
Absolutely.
And the third point, but my general manager, he was very, he was the general manager too. He said, hey, Vijay, I do not want your PhD. Okay, you can do your master. Your master degree is enough for the research, whatever we want.
Okay.
So don't come to me saying that I have done the PhD, so now pay me extra. So I was fixed, and I said, no. You even don't pay me after my PhD, but you allow me to do the PhD. So everyone was happy.
It was win-win.
It was a win-win situation, but full-time job and full-time PhD, I think it was the toughest call which I made the decision, and my wife supported me very supportive. Or otherwise, I could have been not completed this. Absolutely. It was very challenging.
So how your day used to look like when you were doing a job, you were doing a PhD, and I'm sure there must be some like administrative work, or it's not only you do research, you have to put it in the organized way and present it to the university, since it is a education end of the day.
Oh yeah, of course. The day, because my wife Manasi, she used to go to the work early in the morning.
Okay.
Because we just initially settling down,
Correct.
So we can't afford to have only one salary. My salary was not that big, that the whole family. And my wife was a professionally scientist too. So she wanted to work too. So we decided to go for. So she used to go to the work at 6 a.m. We had one old car, $3,000, a very, shabby car, but that's fine, can't afford, So you can take a car up to the station. I will drop her, come back at, again, 6 o'clock, 10 past 6. My son at that time was 7 years old.
Right.
So give him the breakfast, bread omelette, whatever I can make it, And then at 8 o'clock, at 7:30, I used to go to the work.
Okay.
8 o'clock, then he will go to the school. 8 to 4. It's simple. Not like here, once you go 8 o'clock, come back at 10 o'clock in the night. But, because that's how the system is. I'm sharing that simultaneously,
right.
how the working culture is. So 8 to 4, you work hard. No WhatsApp in between. What I mean? It's,
absolutely no time pass.
Just no time pass. Just focus there. And then I used to come down there 4:15, 4:30, make some tea, coffee to my son, play with him, cricket here, there. And then about 6:30, 7 o'clock, I will make some food because I cannot make the roti, but make a little bit sabji, whatever, I can, vegetables. And then at 7:30, I will go station, pick up Manasi, come back 8 o'clock. We will have the dinner quietly. And 9 o'clock, I will go to the university, even after the completion of my 8-hour research work, because you have to complete all your work. It cannot be delayed, So 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, I will go in the night, go to the university, come back about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
My God.
In spite of no money. Completion of PhD,
Right.
But I said, it will pay later on. That was I was believing, and it was tough call, but it paid off me. I was so happy. Yes, my wife Manasi supported me very well during that process. It's not. I slept 3 hours, 4 hours every day for 3 years.
Yes. My God.
So it was,
That is the commitment.
yeah, of course. And our commitment, I have made it for myself,
And there was no money motivation.
And there was no,
It was just like for your own satisfaction or
my passion, because when I see that product, which is a new product, in entire world, no one has used that product anywhere.
Right.
So I thought that, it might, crack the ice. Till that moment, you have to work hard, and it cracked the ice after 3 years. But you have to work hard, you can't just say one day, it will come down.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's not the case.
You can't just dream, you have to work for it.
Oh, yeah. What they say about the dream, as you said, you used the correct word, the dream, the dream should be such that, you cannot sleep.
Right.
Mentally, you can't sleep. Oh, I had the big dreams,
Right.
So there is no way, you cannot see the dreams in the sleep. You have to see, when the dream is there, then you can't sleep. Your dream should be like that.
To work towards it.
Yeah.
Since you have worked in different countries, so can you tell us some common factors and something that is, very special about, some countries? For example, in Japan.
Japan, I can say that, it is a good combination of Asian culture and Western technology.
Okay. You mentioned something about R&D. So, would like to know your views. In India, I don't think it is given much importance. So, what do you think? Like, are you of the same opinion? And what should be done, you feel?